This is the fifth estate winning headlines. Your media police post coming to you from Nairobi, Kenya, from the Photo School of Government. In this segment, we summarize some of the headlines that you may have missed this morning. But we also take a look at some of the political pieces that we call cartoons in this country. There is a 13th of April 2022, and I am 2M.
And I am GK.
And I am JM. In case you missed the headlines this morning, here they are. In the Daily Nation, oil firms burn their fingers. In the Standard, reign of oil barons. And in the Star, mystery, suicide of Ruto Uhuru elite bodyguards. People Daily, it's DP or nothing, Kalonzo declares.
Interesting.
Welcome back, GK.
Thank you.
Back from Ukraine.
Yes.
How's Zelensky doing?
Fighting the good fight.
Tell him I have an idea for him. He is looking for help to fight Putin. I know of a warlord staying in Karen. He's from Sugoi. He can enlist him to fight Putin.
Some bow and arrows.
With some bows and arrows.
Fantastic.
But let me begin.
Yeah.
President Richard Nixon in 1969 was a besieged man. Americans for weeks had filled the streets in protest against the Vietnam War. They wanted Nixon out. In fact, his ratings were so bad to about 45%. And so, in a televised address to Americans in 1969, Nixon told them this. And so tonight, to you, the great silent majority of my fellow Americans, I ask for your support. For the more divided we are at home, the less likely the enemy is to negotiate. Nixon was referring to those Americans who did not join the large demonstrations against the Vietnam War at the time. Nixon was referring to those Americans who did not want to participate in public discourse. Nixon saw the group of middle Americans as being overshadowed in the media by the more vocal minority. And he was right. Right after the speech, Nixon's ratings went up. The silent majority that had stayed quiet through the protests pushed his popularity ratings to 90%. Question is, do we have a silent majority in Kenya? And the answer is yes. But who are they? Put simply, they are a large group of people who do not express their opinions publicly. They don't shout, hustle a nation, ovyo. We want to ask the following questions. Doesn't the silent majority know that it's Chief Hustler himself that orchestrated the burning of 35 Kikuyu women and children in a church in Kiambaa? Not my words, but those of Moses Kuria. Doesn't the silent majority know that many Kisis and Luyas were slaughtered, maimed, and evicted from their homes in the Rift Valley by the Chief Hustler Messiah? Doesn't the silent majority know Kenya's worst economic performance on record was under Musalia Mudavadi? Doesn't the silent majority know Mudavadi was finance minister when Goldenberg happened? Doesn't the silent majority know that it's under Musalia that Kenya's inflation rate hit 100%? Doesn't the silent majority know that it's under Musalia that Kenya became famous for stealing from the dead? What's our point here? William Ruto and co know their core support was probably not alive or was too young when they performed their wrongs. Simply put, Ruto's core support of 20 to 30-something-year-old Kikuyus don't know his record. This group of people are the loud minority. But there's a group of people, a silent majority, that is very much alive to know what Ruto and Musalia and everybody else are capable of. They have lived long enough to see Ruto's and Mudavadi's record. It is time this silent majority stands up to the fellowship of thugs ready to devour Kenya. It is time the silent majority realizes Kenya is at the brink of going to the dogs. William Ruto and the Kenya Kwanza riffraffs cannot be Kenya's future. Because if they are, Kenya in just 5 years will look like Afghanistan. The silent majority must stop them now.
Wow. That is a submission. So in my absence, I have reflected on many things. And the thing that has disturbed me the most is that Ruto has been showing us a very choreographed version of himself. It has left me wondering, who is the real William Ruto? Can he please stand up?
Yes.
I am disturbed because I want to know what happened in those 15 minutes at the UDA National Delegates Conference when Ruto kicked the media out. And I am disturbed that Ruto only surrounds himself with women from the Kikuyu nation and none from the Kalenjin nation. I'm equally disturbed that some of them are being slapped with no repercussions. I'm also disturbed when I watch videos of how angry Ruto gets when there's dissent or disruption from the crowd at his rallies. And curiously, why do his bodyguards seem to be dropping like flies?
Whoa.
It leads me to think that there is more than meets the eye.
Yes.
Now, Ruto reminds me of a figure in Greek mythology called Procrustes,
Yes.
who would stretch short people or cut off the legs of tall people who did not fit his bed.
My goodness.
Ruto is this kind of Procrustean leader.
Yes.
He requires everyone to conform to him no matter what.
Yes.
It's his way or the expressway.
Yes.
So pay attention to the upcoming UDA nominations.
Yeah.
He will want to demonstrate that they have been democratic, free and fair, when in fact they will have been the very opposite. Lest we forget, he was the main engineer of Jubilee's nomination processes.
Correct.
His playbook remains consensus by submission. The outcomes are already known, and the process is just a mere charade.
Yes.
And this is a mirror to how a Ruto presidency would be.
Yes.
Only those who won't outshine their master will be successful candidates. They will never question the almighty Ruto's dominance.
Right.
Now, Ruto's currency of politics is lies, guys. And good candidates who have made this trade-off to step down in the short term will come to realize that in the long run, they have only shortchanged themselves
That's right.
and their people. They say that character is who you are in the dark.
Yes.
And the masses do not have access to see Ruto's true colors. But a word to the disgruntled UDA nominees who lost their nomination,
Yeah.
all is not lost.
Yeah.
And as Ms. Kay told us yesterday, 2022 could be the year of the independent.
Yes.
All they have to do is unyoke themselves from the wheelbarrow.
Whoa. Fantastic.
Is it possible that Kikuyus have pleaded temporary insanity by blindly following William Ruto? Here's my hypothesis regarding Kikuyu fanaticism. Do recall that a Kikuyu will not tell you the price of his wares 10 days before market day, or 5 days, or 2 days for that matter.
Yes.
He will only tell you his price on market day.
Yes.
In the art of war, this approach approximates the strategy known as feigning madness without losing the balance. And madness in this instance means a feigned mental or physical defect. By entering into some sort of trance, you stop your opponent functioning in order to gain the upper hand at a critical moment or to get through a precarious situation. And I think Kikuyus are looking at this transition and they think it's going to be a very precarious one. Now, being foxy by nature, Kikuyus will hedge by giving both Raila and Ruto their votes. The Kikuyus of the Rift and even some Kikuyus of the mountain, of course, like those from where you come from, Galoni, Nyeri, Kiambu, Muranga, they'll go with Ruto. But the remaining half will vote for Raila. And here is why I say they're going to hedge. First, to save face. Kikuyus promised Ruto the presidency in 2013 and 2017. And as we all know, there is a tomorrow. This election is not the last that we will ever have. There will be many others, and Kikuyus feel like they have a point to prove to the rest of the ethnic nations of Kenya. They're out to prove that they can keep their promises. And if they cannot keep them 100%, they can at least honor them 50%. The other reason Kikuyus will hedge is for political insurance. As they say in business, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Because they don't have the presidency to defend, and since they will not be in power for at least another 20 years, what they intend to do is to be present and to dominate in both the ruling government as well as the opposition. So I really see here an opportunity for Kikuyus to hedge their bets.
I like that.
And that is perhaps the game that they're going with right now.
I like that.
We had 4 headlines here, but the Star was a promising one.
Yes.
It was, but it needs an edit.
It needs an edit,
Yes.
exactly.
Yes.
We're getting rid of Uhuru Elite.
Yes.
And we're going to
That's
say mystery suicide of Ruto bodyguards.
Bodyguards.
Because there is bodyguards.
Absolutely.
That's right. And
Yeah.
so with that edit, I think we can make that our winning headline.
Absolutely. 3 bodyguards killed and they all belong to him.
Yeah.
And they were found dead.
There's something
There's
there.
something there.
There's something there. So I'm going to toss the Daily Nation, toss the People Daily, and the Standard, as well as the original version of the Star. Yeah. Well, gents, ladies, thank you for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can find me on TikTok at Maina Wakagema.
Find me on Twitter as Samasana.
Find me on Twitter at Kmaina, on TikTok at Kandabungo.
Have a good evening.